Test View window in Synchronizer room. Short test is the first test that can be performed on Synchronizer. To perform this test, first you need to enter the System 1 characteristics, which is simulator of the infinite boss, and the System 2 characteristics, which is a simulator of the generator. The amount of voltage difference, frequency and angle of Systems 1 and 2 are entered in delta VLL, delta F and delta phi respectively. The amount of voltage, frequency and angle are specified in the column at the right side of this box. Note that it's possible to directly specify the voltage, frequency and phase values of the System 2, in which case the amount of difference between the specified values with their nominal values is displayed in the column on the left side of this box. In performing this test, the characteristics of System 1 is fixed, and for every test point, the characteristics of System 2 changes. Other methods to add test points include clicking on the characteristic curve and selecting Add or holding Control key and clicking on the intended point on the characteristic curve. Finally, after specifying the test point, the test is performed, and in accordance with that, whether the test point is inside the characteristic or outside it, the relay issues connect or disconnect command. The test point assessment is done in accordance with synchrony or non-synchrony of NOM and ACT columns in assessment section in the test point table. The characteristics of System 2, the test point is specified in System 2 section. Other options of this section are the same as those of other previously mentioned rooms. As an example, a point inside the connection zone and another point outside this zone are selected. By performing the test, you will see that the relay gives a close command inside the zone and does not connect outside this zone. The second and most important performable test is Synchronizer. To perform this test, you need 5 outputs from the relay. In fact, this relay has 5 main outputs, and by giving the raiser or lower command for voltage and frequency, the act of synchronizing and connecting the unit to the network is done. These outputs, which should be connected to the device for the test, include V once bigger, VM once smaller, F once bigger, F once smaller, which are used to raise voltage, lower voltage, raise frequency, and lower frequency respectively. In Trigger tab, in Binary Settings section, the settings of related inputs can be specified. In this section, to receive the commands such as Receive Voltage Raise command, Receive Voltage Lower command, Receive Frequency Raise command, and Receive Frequency Lower command, B2 V once bigger, B1 V once smaller, B3 F once bigger, and B3 F once smaller are used respectively. Also, Close command is used to receive the close command from the relay. In performing this test, the inputs are simulators of governor and AVR, which are commanded by the relay. This test in this tab is done in the way that when you select a test point and run the test, the relay enters the voltage and frequency of System 2 to the closing zone by giving the voltage and frequency change commands, and finally gives the close command. About performing this test, it should be noted that it's necessary to enter generator model in accordance with the system characteristics, because the changes in voltage and frequency are done in accordance with the pulses sent from the relay and the settings entered in this section. For example, if 0.1 is entered as delta V delta T, if 1 second pulse is sent from the relay to decrease the voltage decreases by 100 millivolts. But if a 500 milliseconds pulse is sent, the voltage decreases by 500 millivolts. As an example, here a test point is selected and 1 volt per second, 50 millihertz per second are entered as delta V delta T and delta F delta T respectively. By running the test, you can see that based on the signals received by the inputs from the relay, the characteristic enters the connection zone from the outside. As the final point, it is necessary to note that the time of each of the tests is specified in Fault Time section in setting, which if necessary can be changed.